come here on support and to fight on behalf of people, real people who live in this neighborhood. I see faces here that I've watched and seen over the last 50 years that I've been in this neighborhood, more than 50 years. I grew up in this neighborhood in Western Additions, a little bit further up near Haight Street. But there's something that's happening as I walk through here. I remember they have memory. There's always memory. I remember when none of this was here, the Black Student Union, which I was a member of San Francisco State, had their off-campus office around the corner, right here on the corner of the restaurant, with me and Sam Napier, who worked with the Panther Party, would sit down and have breakfast and talk about what was happening in the community here. There were real live discussions, not discussions about development in the building and creating new emphases, these buildings and everything, but discussions about people's lives. What were we going to do in the midst of this massive redevelopment that was happening here? How were organizations like the Western Addition Community Organization fighting? I see faces, the same faces. We were out here in 1968. We were out here, some of us are right here, tell my man, we were out here in 1968. And I got two of my friends out here in 1968 right here and everything. So what are we going to do? Because the question is that we're standing out here almost in a situation where it's fait accompli. It has happened. It is doing. How do we fight? How do we not just talk about going down to City Hall and have members of City Hall fighting for this neighborhood, fighting for the diversity that this neighborhood represented? I grew up here. I would come from Hunters Point all the way to the Stanford Hospital here, up on Stanford and up on Sacramento and Webster, where I was born. Tell the truth. I was born there. I'd come here with my dad, and I see this magic that was happening on the street down here. Magic when I went up there. I saw people who looked like me, people who had businesses, people who were doing work, people who were building community, people who were caring and fucking loving. That's what I saw here. And now it's here. Look what we have here. We gathered here under this one building, this building right here, to talk about what is lost, what is lost, and how lives have been changed, and the gentrification has continued to go on. What do we do about that right now? The building is here. The building ain't gonna go away. These buildings ain't gonna get away. How are we gonna fight for this? That's the question about it. How are we gonna fight for our own humanity right here in this particular moment in time and space right now? I had the opportunity, I guess I was the only one who had the opportunity to talk about reparations in front of the Congressional Committee around there, headed by many good-feeling, good-will people in Washington, D.C. And I had the opportunity to. Our voices has to be loud and clear about that. How do we now resuscitate, build new leadership, and build the kind of communities that San Francisco does not have anymore?
Come on, Mr. Robert.
My dad came here, left the Army after World War II. He wanted to go back to Kansas City because that's where he was from, the Midwest. My mama from the Deep South. They would have married in New York. They got out here, and my dad said, "Come on, Carrie, I'm going back to Detroit. I got a job waiting for me in Detroit." Imagine what that job was. And my mother said, "We're not going anywhere. We better stay here. We're going to stay here. This is God's country." My mother thought this was God's country. She grew, and she made us feel that this was God's country. And the possibility, we have to recreate, reimagine the possibility for all of us, whether we're black, we're Hispanic, whether we're Asian, whether we're working class white. We have to rebuild this place for that. And that's what it had. That's not what it has been. They have not delivered on the promise that was delivered, that was destined to be delivered in this. And that's what we have to fight for. Thank you so much. This is Danny Glover, and we're talking about justice. We're talking about the truth. The wonderful and incredible poet, writer, who said it so eloquently in his words, James Baldwin. When we cannot tell ourselves the truth about our past, we become trapped in it. We are trapped in our past. This country is trapped in our past. So we got to know all the truth, and we got to talk about the truth, and we got to reveal the truth, and nothing short of that. Thank you.